Hello and welcome to a live stream with me, Christopher Armstrong. I am the founder of the Metaverse Chase Reality, and today we're just going to take a quick look at the platform itself. Now, if you would like to jump across and try it for yourself, it's free and will be free forever. And if you choose to sign up, you'll get the ability to use other function and applications, such as the social network, just like Facebook, but not Facebook. You own control of it. And you'll also get control of a private messenger, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's what you'll get if you do a sign up. There may be a 6 to 12 hour delay between your account getting activated, but of course we're working on that. Anyway, as you can see from the main screen, let's turn over to here. What does the main screen have? It starts up with a message. You can see it's rotating around, so it's not like any other platform out there. The Metaverse is essentially the internet with a VR sort of mixed reality element to it. Okay, so to help people to understand how to use it who are not used to something like this, it starts off with a nice message. As you can see, a lovely welcome to the Metaverse Chase Reality, and explore 360 VR, immersive 360 VR tours from around the world. Now, the one you can see here is actually where we are located, which is bright and beautiful sunny Singapore. So you can see it spinning around and everything, and it just changed location. So basically, this is the core of the metaverse, where you'll be able to engage either on your phone, your tablet, on your Mac or your Windows PC, and you'll be able to explore around. Now, we have quite a few locations from around the world and very special experiences, as well as more fun things to come, such as interactive real-world games and things where you can actually earn some credits. Some of our use to earn credits, and you'll be able to extract those into real-world cash once you hit a certain number of it. Now, we have a good idea about all of this sort of thing, but we'll touch on that in another video. So anyway, what I'm going to do, because I think it's only fair, we'll just restart this, and then you'll see the view that you'll get if you were to visit. So here we go. So it starts off like this, and then whoosh, from the tiny planet view in, you get your little descriptor as to what you can see, what you can use, what you can do. So we have the Explorer 360, is basically what you can see here. The Metaflix, that's essentially our version of Netflix, but it's open, it's public domain, it's free, and once we launch the app version of this, we will be enabling you to upload your own content, just like you can with YouTube. The kicker with the whole platform is once we get some new plugins and or release the app on Android and Windows to begin with, you can upload as much as you like, and there will never ever be any lag. Why? Very simple. The Metaverse is decentralized and owned by its users. So for anyone who's ever uploaded anything to YouTube, you'll simply upload your video and it will be saved on your device. So if I upload it to my phone, it will be saved on here. Okay? Now, if I/you, the user, want to watch one of my videos that's uploaded to my device on the Metaverse, in Metaflix, you will actually stream it straight from my device. Okay? Let's get our heads around this. This is how awesome and cool this is. Instead of streaming from a server somewhere around the world, controlled and monitored by both YouTube and governments globally, it will just come straight from the device to you. And the more people that watch it, it starts streaming from the multiple devices, as long as the owner, the user of the device, allows that. So we're adding those functions in there. And of course, the more people that do this, the faster it will get. So will there be lag? Initially, yes. But that's just because you're streaming from a consumer device to begin with. However, once there's sort of, I would say, 5 to 10 devices, then actually it will get even faster than anything commercial, any data center in the world, because it will be distributed like a spider web from tens of thousands, but we'll say hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands and more, all at the same time. So instead of having to pull, say, for a good example, a gigabit of data in a video file, you could have like a megabyte distributed over 1,000 people and all 1,000 would be chucking 1 megabyte to you. And it doesn't matter how fast their internet is because the sheer speed of it. So if we were to ramp that to all the way down to, say, a 250 megabyte video and then distribute that over 1,000 or more people, you can probably imagine how fast that would be. It would be pretty instantaneous. That would be YouTube level of speed, but without any of the monitoring, any of the restrictions. So really cool things to come. Anyway, so that's actually what we're going to be working on after the video today and all of this week, which is updating our Metaflix. So if you go to chasereality.co right now, click on Metaflix. So let's just show you. Just come over here. You see my little icon, Metaflix. So we have Metaverse Explorer, Social Pulse. That's our version of social media. So for anyone who's aware of Facebook back in the day, that's kind of how it looks now. However, in the I would say in the next 2 to 3 months, that will look significantly better. It looks really old school right now, but it's functional and it works. Anyway, Metaflix, this is where we're going to go. Messenger, just for quick, that's kind of like your Facebook Messenger slash WhatsApp. And the difference with this, the power of the Metaverse is, just as I was talking about how Metaflix, the videos that are uploaded and distributed, anyone with the software or anyone on the browser in the next sort of, I would say, 2 to 3 months, we hope to have this implemented, will automatically all connect to each other. Again, there'll be a little message which says, do you accept? And it basically connects everyone in a similar way to an app which was used in Hong Kong when there was riots in Hong Kong a couple of years ago. All of the rioters still could connect, although the internet had been turned off. And that was through an app called Bridgeify, which basically everybody used Bluetooth and they all connected to each other. So let's imagine there's one person here and one person here, and the distance is 1 mile, but then you have 500 people in between. It would actually jump between all of the user's devices until it reached from point A to point B. Yeah? And that's basically what's going to happen with this. So even if there's no internet, this whole platform, which consists of the Metaverse Explorer, as you can see it, spinning around here. Yeah. So we'll do that. There we go, lovely. You see the world famous MBS building there, Marina Bay Sands building, the world famous Malayan. Actually, let's just jump in front of that just for context, just for a bit of fun. Look at that, isn't that wicked? People pay a sheer fortune to go on holiday to see things like this. And that's the other point. Even if you have absolutely no money, but you have internet connection, you can jump on here via the current internet and have a semblance of an experience which is real. This is not manipulated. This is as it is at the time. Okay? So anyway, even if you're offline, but let's say, for instance, in 2 weeks' time, myself and my co-founder, Tim Taylor, we're actually going to be flying to the Philippines. And let's say we had this updated in time. I don't think we will, but we will endeavor to try and do that. If we manage to get a lot of locals in villages and things across the Philippines where they have very poor to no internet, but they all have devices because they travel into places like Manila for work and such. But let's just say they all have the app, because we'll be able to transfer it from one device to the other via, say, a QR code. So you'll be able to take their device, scan the QR code, and it would begin to transfer from one device to the other, the full app. And that's what we're working on. And then once they have that, the two people will be able to actually share. So this one would have the version of the internet, everything you see here. And this one would stream it all over, and then it would start to save it. Now, of course, you can choose to delete any part of it as you choose, and of course, re-download it once you're connected, either via an offline network, such as the 2 devices, or the 100 or 1,000 devices, like similar to what happened in Hong Kong, or if you have one person connected to the internet. And that's the other kicker. Let's say me here in the office, I'm connected to the internet with this device. This device has no internet. This one can get, but this one is connected to this one via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So this could be connected to my Wi-Fi via 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And then these two connect via 2.4 gigahertz or via Bluetooth. This one will now have full access to the internet based on the restrictions of this one. And let's simplify that. These are now both connected to the internet. Router, connection. This one, connection. So this now acts as a router. Okay, cool. We'll get back to Metaflix in a second. But this is how awesome this is. So this one will now have access to the internet via this. But this will mainly be... so it's not the full internet. It will be, for reasons, the Metaverse. Okay? So this full version of the Metaverse, this will encompass everything that people hold dear and the content they want. How do I know that? Because you'll be the ones uploading it. Okay, so you will choose what is valuable, and as you do via the internet or via the offline, but you only need one person in, say, Japan, connected via a router. They upload what they want, and then people in here in Singapore, or maybe in the UK or the US or India, one person will be connected to the internet, so we call this gatewaying, and then say another 100 people connected to that one device. They all don't have internet, or such as in the Philippines. They will all get the upload from Japan, in India, or in the Philippines or the UK or the US. So we're just using the internet as a string between two cups. It's a gateway. That's it. And this way, all of the content you have is yours, controlled by you, and you can also choose that if you upload something particular, such as a video or a photo file, you can delete it and will actually purge it because it's yours. All right, and again, that's something we're working on. But distributed mesh networking platforming, which is essentially the internet but without servers. Every user's device becomes the server, and you can also distribute that space if you are perhaps a company. Anyway, long story short, hopefully that's been very intriguing, but long story short, at about 12 minutes in, Metaflix. Okay, so we click on it. We got back round to it after about 8 minutes. I apologize. But you can see the love for this. So anyway, here we go. We are on Metaflix. Now, this is asking, so as I was saying earlier about having messages pop up asking for permission to connect to the internet for mesh networking or for other features. Now, this is a really special feature which it's asking for, and I'll just cover this really quickly. Actually, you know what? I'll come back to it in a second. So anyway, Metaflix. What is this? This is basically our version of Netflix. Okay? And focus on the left side. Right? This is where my cursor is. TV shows, films, movies, and music. Yes, music. So what is this going to be focused on to begin with? So before we allow users to upload content, we're going to be uploading public domain content. And as you can see, there's an awful lot of Popeye. Now, these are just placeholder images, but they are live and active. Okay, but if we click on that, so here we go, we've got an ad. This is actually how we're currently funding, so we just ignore that for now. Great. Get the new message because we haven't accepted it yet. Anyway, so here, we're going to scroll down and we've got Popeye. Alright, this is basically, this encompasses all the seasons. So again, I'll click on that. And as we come down, we'll get rid of the ad. There we go. Simple as that. By the way, a lot of the feedback we had from sort of over the past year of development has been ads get in the way. I understand that. That's fair enough. However, we need to be able to fund the servers and things that we're currently using before we migrate it, because you need one single source, a main server, for people to pull all the data from before it just gets uploaded to the one. Okay, so traditionally, anyone, any device, even Mac and iPhone, can currently use the web-based version, which is what we're kind of looking at here. But anyway, Popeye, Season 1, right? Season 2, and then as you scroll over here, you can see Season 3. Click the little arrow. Can be a little bit difficult to see. We can probably improve that. Season 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think that's it. No, 8. Oh, goodness. I'm forgetting. Okay, so we basically, every season that's here is in the public domain. And yes, it's all viewable. So we'll go back to episode 1 just because it's there. It's fun. Here we go. So season 1. And I'm clicking on season 2 there. There we go. I don't know whether you can hear that audio. No, I'll work on that. But anyway, so the theme tune's playing. As you can see, the video's also playing. And we're jumping. Let's get that more in frame for you. Perhaps we can we full screen that? We can full screen that. Okay. And the internet's being a bit slow today. I've had the stream cut out on me 3 times. So anyway, this is all in the public domain, so I can play this at will. And currently, you can go on there and actually click download from your phone, laptop, PC, Mac, iPhone, whatever it is, and it will download to the device, and it's yours because it's in the public domain. Just the same as the first Mickey Mouse, which is Steamboat Willie, I believe. But Disney's trying to stop people from doing that. They're trying to change some things. Anyway, I digress just a little bit. So anyway, so this is kind of how we're doing it. Yes, it's not as beautified and pretty and everything else and corporate as, say, Netflix. But we will get there. I can assure you we will get there. So that's a good example of that function, that feature. And below here we have episode 2, 3, 4, and you just scroll along. And this is how it will be set up. So obviously that's just episode 6 there. And any one of these you click, it will of course play. So that is Metaflix, kind of in a nutshell. A big deep dive. I apologize about that. Love it, really do. Let's have a look here. Where do we want to go? Metaflix Explorer. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, fantastic. So this kind of gives you a bit of an insight into how, I should say, where you can explore. Now you can go and do this right now. This is a live platform. So you can see here, this is Singapore. We have the UK. This is a picture of London. We have the US. These are our favorite tours. Oh goodness, hang on. I've skipped some, haven't I? There we go. I'm kind of winging this. Taiwan, Japan. There's a lot. And there's a lot more than just going to certain countries. There's like experiences such as boarding a super tanker in the Straits here in Singapore. Exploring the Freemasons temple. Not really a done before thing, but you can go and you can explore. So conspiracy theorists eat that one up. Or people with who are not completely crazy, go and enjoy that. It is what it is. Yeah, so we're putting a lot of these things under the Best Fleet 360 Explorers. The unique experiences, that's definitely going to come under that. Cultural, historical, and of course we're going to be adding to these things all the time. Alright, so week by week, month by month, this will significantly grow. And we're trying to obviously update all of this as we do it. Okay, now if we just go down here, this is actually live tours running from different servers at the moment. Now, yes, I did say we're removing those servers, but we need to pull from one server as the user base grows, who are actually streaming it. So that feature will be added in the next few months. So yeah, so this is just a beautiful one here, again in Singapore. And I'll use my cursor just over here. I think it's a singular image. This is just for the Chihuly Glass public display, so this is why we can show it. But down here, where you can see my cursor, that's actually where the Malayan is. And if I look just behind here, you can see the MBS boat. Absolutely stunning. And anyone who's visiting Singapore, between sort of 7 and 9, there's huge displays, kind of like how Vegas has the big fountain display and lights and things. You have the same thing here, and this is enormous. This is much bigger than Vegas. It's a bit like, say, 3 of the hotels in distance and size combined. It's really something to behold. And of course, if you like Formula 1 and that type of thing, it's really amazing. Now, this is one of the other sort of cultural and experience type tours. This is actually Cardiff Castle in the UK, I should say in South Wales. And yeah, you can explore the castle. There's the main keep there in the background. And again, you can go and you can check all of this out yourself right now. So all you have to do is just have a little look around. We're going to obviously optimize this, but just so people can find tools quickly, we've kind of added this in because we move very quickly and then we polish it up a few weeks to a month or worst case 2 months later. Where we are, just quickly, inside of the World War II converted tunnels inside of the actual castle, so you get a bit of an experience, a bit of a feel, an atmosphere. And we're going to be adding sort of sound effects and all sorts of things, and more interactive things. So if we look around here, this is just a plain window, okay? Could be completely random. You, the user, and of course the observer through YouTube, you can leave us a message and say, maybe in this window for Halloween, could you put a World War II video playing? And we can click on it and engage with it. So things like this will update based on your user engagement. So we absolutely love it. So we're not a metaverse in the sense of like cryptocurrency and all of that. They're not metaverses at all. Decentraland, Sandbox, they're not metaverses, okay? Minecraft, all of this stuff, Roblox, they're not metaverses. They are just large community-based either game worlds like The Sims, not a metaverse, or the crypto side, NFTs, stay away from them, don't touch them, you don't own anything, okay? Just to be clear, an NFT is a receipt. Same thing as when you buy something, you get a printout receipt, that's all it is. If you were to buy an image, that image goes to a thing called the Interplanetary File System, the IPFS, there we go, which is like a decentralized storage unit, but someone has to maintain that and everything. So if it suddenly went offline, you're fudged. Whereas with what we have, the one true metaverse, because it's on the cyberpunk principle, so if you look up your history, that's what this is. It's the internet in an interactive, self-owned, self-governed manner. And I can hear the questions firing off in the comment section in the future, which is, what stops people from doing bad things? Very simply, you should police yourself. Now I know what people are saying to that. Self-ownership? Well, do you wake up in the morning, walk out, outside, go to your neighbor's house and start kicking in the front door? Do you harm people? Do you do all of this mad stuff? No, because we live in a reasonably civilized world, in mostly civilized countries, such as here. It's extremely civilized in beautiful Singapore. So we expect that. However, can we do something to tackle bad actors? Yes, absolutely. Because it's decentralized, though, the only sort of function of control we're going to have as the creators, and for me being the founder, is I'll have a policing ability, which means if someone was to post something, such as a video about offensive towards, say, degrading towards children, selling drugs, firearms, things of those terrible natures which are unacceptable and should be unacceptable all over the world, but unfortunately it is not in some countries. We will be able to police that in the sense that we'll be able to get the IP and then send it off to the authorities, or even work with them in the future so they can get the automatic ping, because we have no right to go into a user's device and control that. That all belongs to them. And the other thing about that is, if we have no contact with that device, when the police, the authorities, do confiscate that device, all the evidence will basically be imprinted in that hard drive, or the memory or whatever. So that's how we're going to be tackling that. And of course, we're going to be using very deep encryption, which is called, I think it's PNP encryption. So everyone's heard of sort of, you send encryption and such. A lot of people aren't aware that end-to-end encryption isn't really encrypted if the user's device is Trojaned, which most devices are actually Trojaned. And what do I mean by this? So myself and my other co-founder, Tim Taylor, we both have backgrounds in the military and other areas of security, and contacts with ex-police and things like this. So we have a very deep understanding of security, and we're also entrenched within circles. It's typically known as the circuit. Okay, so we have friends we can reach out and we can say what's going on with cyber encryption. And there's actually a program called Pegasus 2 that governments use. it usually costs them between sort of 1 and 5 million, where all you need to do is put somebody's phone number in, somebody's email, and then they get instant access to all devices connected with that. It's kind of like a worm. So for anyone not into cyber, the worm basically, anything that device is touched, they can access. So you've heard of the rumors of hackers being able to turn your camera on and off, your microphone on and off. You think your phone's turned off, but they can actually turn it on. This is why you can't remove batteries anymore from your phones, because the governments have made it that way. Not a conspiracy theory. Look it all up. It's very, very well documented, and I would stand behind mine and my team's credentials on this. But yeah, very well documented, and of course go and listen to Edward Snowden. He even shows people how to take the device apart, remove connections to the camera, microphone, things like this, GPS, and then just use a smartphone as a means to make calls. Yeah, but with this, you won't actually need that, because once we have the mesh networking capability, you can take your SIM card out. Yeah, so you'll be able to take the SIM card out, throw it away, forget about connecting to, here in Singapore, it would be Singtel, in the UK, Vodafone, 3 Network. I'm not sure about those in the US and other places, but you simply won't need them once there's enough people connected. And we'll also be able to deploy supernodes or routers with the same app on, and that app will simply act as a very long-range beacon, connecting more people. So with all of the users' support and assistance, we'll be able to pay for these things. So yeah, it will be amazing to have all of your support. So this is kind of what we're looking at and where we're aiming at for the near future. So again, very exciting times. Very, very exciting indeed. So yeah, so as you can see, we've got quite a few things here just for the 360, the VR Immersive Explore. And you're probably going to say, or you're thinking, this looks something like Google Street View, Google Maps. And you're right, and it's done this way for a reason. Can we have it so it's like Minecraft and you can run around, have an avatar and all of that sort of thing? 100% yes. But to a lot of the users and viewers who live in poorer countries, or perhaps, like I have a lot of friends in the UK who live in more rural areas, the internet, the coverage is shocking for a first world country. So you'd never be able to stream the sort of bandwidth until the mesh comes in, because the typical providers are pants. Their capability is terrible, and then of course, even if you could, you'd have to pay more for data. So yeah, great fun there. So this way, even if you have a bit of a McDonald's phone, you know, a bit of an older generation phone, you can't really afford much, or maybe you have one of the, well, they're hyper affordable phones. If you were to look at some of the Chinese phones like Poco phone, or maybe even the cheaper ones which they have in India, there's some which cost only $10. They're smartphones, but they're really old generation, so they might not be able to run much. But something like this, in this format, it can actually load it up like an image, and then we've actually made it so you can still connect. Will we be able to add in the 3D engine or the 3D capability? Yes, it's already there, but we're going to roll it out slowly as people get used to this. So, very long-winded, kind of putting all this stuff together there, but yeah, hopefully it makes some sense. Excuse me. So yeah, what else will you get once you log in? You'll get the messenger, and you will get the social network. 2 things I will show you on the next live stream, probably this Friday, because I'll be busy updating, where are we? Metaflix, here we go. But as you can see, social pulse there, and then, which is our social network, and then, hang on again, there we go, and then better messages there. Of course, if you like anything on these ads, so for instance, this is an ad for the Hilton. If you happen to like it, fantastic, go ahead, click on it, and then explore, because each time someone clicks on this, it really helps us out. This is the fastest way for us to get funded. But if people spam it, then basically what they're doing won't contribute at all, and it will just be seen as spam. So if you like something, just take a look at it. No one's asking you to buy. The whole point of an ad is to see what interest you have. So there we go. We don't currently have any sponsors. We'd love some sponsors, some community support. I think we're growing something pretty awesome. Um, Everything's for free. We're not putting any charges in. And when you log in, there's also the ability to earn points, which you can cash out. So something we learned from using the MGM app. So I'm looking at going over to Vegas in America and capturing all of the hotels and maybe some of the deserts, some of the famous routes, which people would love to be able to see and explore. And if they're not able to, this will be one way for them to do it. So in order to save on costs, I downloaded the MGM app, which is like a slot app. I'm not promoting this, I'm just explaining. And as long as you engage with it and you play a little bit every day, you earn points. And once you get to 100,000 points on that, it's equivalent to $100. And you can exchange that for one night stay in several of the hotels on the strip. I'm looking at staying at the Pyramid, the Luxor, and that's how I'm basically going to pay for that. So a lot of this is going to go towards my flight over there, my food, things like this. So it's not some get rich quick, any of that nonsense. This is literally how we figure it out. So without big sponsors and still making something cool and functional and progresses every day, this is what you get. So I realized this one's kind of gone on a bit. I wish I could explain all of this in sort of 5 minutes. But as you see, I kind of end up deep diving and veering off. I think I did, I veered off from Metaflix for about 8 minutes in the beginning. And now we're up to, what, 31 minutes, goodness gracious. Anyway, so please do feel free to go over, have a look and explore. If you register, it will take between 6 and 12 hours for us to be able to authenticate and activate, and then you'll be able to use the same login details. You don't have to use your real email. We don't need that, so you can keep your anonymity. However, when you want to cash out your points into cash, so yes, you could technically utilize the platform, get a lot of friends, and there's another feature where they could take their points. So if you have a lot of followers, you can get them to send you them. You can actually cash out sort of the same day or next week and earn a real living from our platform. And of course, we are earning at the same time because the ads give us a split and the user a split in points. So we're cutting out kind of the middleman in that Google's the middleman, but we've made them the payer and then we are distributing it. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So we've looked at the MGM sort of system to make something. I'm not saying it's going to be get to 100,000 because each time you log in, each time you look at a page, you get 1 point. We're going to look at upping that or bringing down the output. So it's a very new feature, and once we get back from our Philippines trip in 1 month, so we're going next week, end of next week, and we're going to be away for 3 weeks. But once we come back, we will look at trying to get this activated and having a video on it and helping you learn. Look, if perhaps you're one of the lovely people in the Philippines that we're going to meet, the community out there, we're going to give the most advice to a lot of the people that have, I mean, goodness me, there's quite a few people in our community who are Filipinos, who are, for example, what's a good example? People have probably heard about the slums in the Philippines. It's not the best. It's very difficult to find work. An awful lot of single mum parent families to 1 to even 4 or 5 children. This will be a way for them to connect on the internet and they can earn points. But that will take a long time for them to actually earn the first withdrawal fee amount, which is equivalent of $100 US. How could they get it quicker and make it a job? Simple. Everyone in the Philippines has Facebook for free. So the internet's there, but the only free element is Facebook, which is kind of what we're looking at doing as well. But the difference is, instead of being locked into Facebook and only what they want, you'll be locked into whatever you want. And this is kind of like a second internet. Of course, if you have main internet access, you can access everything in the world. But this will be built by the users probably within the next 6 months. So it's going to be as quick as possible. And thanks to the development of AI and the assistance of the coding there, it means it keeps our costs down, speeds up development, and allows all of you to have an amazing secondary internet, which hopefully, maybe, God willing, will become the primary internet in the future. and maybe even a means for people to live, work, and earn in the metaverse, but in a healthy way. And yeah, so getting back to my main point, sorry, diverge quite a lot, don't I? A lot of these single mothers, they actually have huge followings from all of the TikTok and Facebook videos that they do. And let's say there's one young lady, for example, I'm kind of pulling an example out of thin air, has 5,000 followers on Facebook. Great, amazing. The young lady could make a post to say, please go and join this platform, explore, you earn points, and instead of sending me money through Facebook, which a lot of them have, an awful lot of tens of thousands of them ask people for, understandably, because they literally have almost nothing to live on and feed their families. This way they could say, we don't need you to send us any money, but if you would go and join up to this platform, earn 10 or 15 or whatever you can earn in a day, so each click of a page, within reason, you earn a point. So if you just click, 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 the points will come up and then they'll be deducted. But if you spend sort of a minute to 5 minutes on it, actually engaging, or like coming on here, you watch a video, we can actually make it so that when you watch a video, you'll earn significantly more points, maybe 50 points or 100 points. So it'll really get you up there, but you have to watch the full length of the video, right? Because the whole point is that you're also exposed to Google ads, because we're not trying to defraud Google, we're trying to work with Google as a Google ad user. So by exposing real people to real ads, we're offsetting something known as the dead internet theory, which basically means that Google doesn't have to worry that their ads are being exposed only to bots, which there's so many people out there which are terrible people. They just plague the internet with bots, and then they earn money from those bots pretending to be humans. What we're looking at doing is creating another version of the internet, in short, giving those people who use it all of the main features of the internet. I would say the main core features, which is why if we excuse me, look here, we have the main Metaverse Explorer, which is the main explorer. We're going to be adding portals and things in so you can jump to better location points of interest. Social Pulse, our version of Facebook. That's the simplest way of putting it, our social network. Better messages, everyone likes to communicate. We're going to be adding video call and voice call in the next few months, probably in the next 2 months. Metaflix, our version of Netflix. Our, how should we put it, our social, our public domain media outlet. So you'll be able to have music and things. So if you're also an artist and you want to upload your music to get exposure, instead of then having people to buy your music with cash, you can actually get them to buy it with points. So you can actually, in a way, charge double, because the person only needs to spend double the amount of equivalent time earning those points, or even having them donated. So let's say somebody in the Philippines, again, very little money, but the whole family uses the platform day-to-day general use, and each of them earn, say, between 20 and 100 points. All of those people could give those points, so you can literally transfer them via the better messages function. So you transfer them to the person of interest, the birthday boy or girl, as an example, and then that person's account suddenly goes up by a few hundred or even several thousand. Anyone who knows anyone literally has a friend or family in the Philippines knows that Filipinos have extremely large families, and their gatherings can be anything from sort of 10's not big enough, from 20 to 100 plus people at a casual gatherings at a weekend. So this is more than viable for them to be able to do something like this, to earn considerable points and donate them to someone in their family that they're supporting, for them to cash out. And they would have earned this through real hard work. But I say hard work, actually, through just generally enjoying what they would be doing across the internet anyway. So even while they're sending messages to each other, if there's a small banner ad at the bottom, as we saw earlier, the exposure is actually helping the platform to earn a tiny amount of money, say a fraction of a penny. You do that over a few hundred people, it's considerable. And then that allows us to have the funding to pay out Isn't that wonderful? Seriously, it's quite incredible that we'll be able to do that. And obviously this will scale and make us a real force, hopefully, in due course. So all of this sort of comes full circle, and then that person can have X amount of people send them the points that they've earned to the platform, and that person can then pay for that music or video or whatever you want to do. So we can really take this in a different direction, and we can help everybody live, work, play, and enjoy life in a different manner with less oversight. And of course, we're not encouraging anyone to do anything bad. 100% no. But people are not slaves. There certainly shouldn't be any slavery, and there shouldn't be additional taxes on taxes. So this is something where we say communication should be free, and just because it's in the digital realm, it should remain that way. And if people are using their own resources, they have multiple phones and things. Here in Singapore, some people have 5 phones. During the craze of Pokemon Go, people here would actually turn up, say about 50, 60 people, and some of them would have 2 phones. Well, 1, 2 phones. And there's other people with sort of 8 phones, and they'd be carrying them all, and they'd be catching Pokemon and things, because I think the more phones you have, the more likely you can earn better Pokemon or something. I don't completely understand that game. It was a few years ago, but people still use it. But anyway, the point still counts. So people should be able to connect and earn and enjoy without pressure, without all of these things. So yes, automation's coming, AI is coming, it is probably coming for your job. It is probably coming for X, Y, and Z. However, the one thing which will always remain will be you, the user, the observer, the product buyer. And the best way, the most valuable thing in the world will be your attention and likelihood to actually convert to buy a product. Now, if your attention is captured because you're using our platform, thank you so much. Maybe we can build something together where we can also help people to earn a little bit, and in some cases, an awful lot over time. So if you have followers and supporters and you get them to sign up and earn some points, and then they decide to send you those points in support, instead of, say, sending $5, which is like the buy me a coffee on YouTube. This way, yeah, you don't have to ask them for cash. You can just ask them to be supportive, and also follow you on the social media side, on the social pulse. And yeah, you can all be very supportive together. There we go, we're getting ads. Even I'm getting ads here. I don't know why that was in another language. I'm in Singapore, where the primary language is, of course, English. So here we go, the Metaverse. Please feel free to go and explore. Parts of it, admittedly, are clunky, and people could say, well, why do it then? Well, because it simply works. It is functional, and we update it constantly, and your feedback is what will help us to make a far better platform. So thank you for watching. We will now be doing regular videos from the point where we get back from the Philippines. But anyway, after 1 month's time, 100% guaranteed. But if we can, so next week, you'll get another Monday video. This Friday, you should. So we'll try and do Mondays and Fridays. But Monday should be the main day. But anyway, thank you again for watching, for listening, for hopefully exploring, signing up, and enjoying the platform. I'm Chris Armstrong, founder, owner of the Metaverse Chase Reality. And please give a look out and a shout out to Tim Taylor, who's been my my longtime friend and support, which is why he's the co-founder, because he's been my absolute rock as I've built and developed this platform for the world to use and enjoy. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great week ahead. Be positive. It's Monday. It's the start of a great week, and this is the attitude you should have. Let's build a better today for a better tomorrow. Take care.